Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Writer's Block Podcast. All right, your favorite comedy podcast in the world. We coming to you live from the Comedy Zone here in Jacksonville, Florida, the Ramada Inn Hotel. Air horn one time. All right, we'll let it get off. We got a special guest in the building today. All right, we got a legend in the building. All right, Tallahassee legend. I'm not talking about T-Pain. All right, Duval legend. I couldn't think of somebody else to go out with that one.
I'm about to say Tallahassee legend. Even though I do know Pain, but I don't know if I'm a Tallahassee legend.
We got a different Tallahassee legend today in the building, all right? We got Florida State's own, all right, former NFL player, all right? And you might have seen him in Jacksonville now doing his damn thing, covering the Jaguars. He on the news now, by the way, goddamn. Let me clap it up right now. This man went from the news, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I got the James Coleman, Big Game James in the building. What's going on, James? How are you?
I'm good, man. I was wondering. I was like, I don't have a comedy. Like, y'all haven't booked me here at the Comedy Zone, so I didn't know what I had to do to get on the podcast, but that's cool.
Oh, my God. James, you don't got to do nothing to get on the... I thought that you were too big for this show for a minute. Like, I feel like now I'm like at a level where I can ask you to come on my show. I'm trying. I got to catch up, you know?
Bigger than me.
That's not true. Yo, look at the camera, audience. Look at the camera right now. Let me know.
But nah, never too big. I go where I'm asked. That's what I always tell people.
Listen, man, if y'all don't know, man, James is pretty much one of the most stand-up individuals that you will ever meet in your life. And I met James. We can go back. I met James on Twitter, by the way. I met James through Twitter. Literally just stalking his Twitter account, bothering him, sending messages, responding to the content. When you were doing like a lot of sports stuff, man, that's like, I guess, would you say that's like the main domain that you read in? Yeah,
that's basically it. I went from training athletes to accidentally falling into sports media. And then when I got forced to write, I really kind of blew up and became a voice with FSU. And then right after that, I started becoming a part of, de facto being in Jacksonville, I became Jags Media. But then I got the First Coast News gig. And then all of a sudden, people started caring about my opinions. And I don't talk.
The audience is clapping right now. I'm letting you get your credits off.
But I talk about sports as a guy who's played it, but also as a fan in like the barbershop. Or like I like to make you feel like we're having a conversation. And then that conversation translated very well to Twitter, and then a lot of people get too comfortable sometimes, but it's still
Wait, what do you mean
welcome.
Like people following you get too comfortable, or
people just in the conversation, like if we're trolling and we're doing all this stuff, but I'm like then like they get personal. I'm like, hey man, you do know that like I'm now, especially when I'm like 6 foot. 285, like I could fight you. If I put my paws on you
in real life,
it ain't gonna end well for you.
All right, so what you're saying is you big on Twitter and in real life. Some people are just big on Twitter.
So it's just like,
some people are just big online.
And it's not the 285. Like I'm fluffier than I was when I played, but it ain't like your 285 in the doctor's office, like where you're about to die on obesity type shit. I got a little bit of muscle still, so like But I like that. I do like the discourse and trying to be as real as possible, because a lot of times in journalism, people are pretentious. And that's not cool.
I will say like James is an expert level of keeping that shit how it's gonna be. All right, keeping it real. It's not. I've seen like your content when you do the show, like even like Big Games, Big Show, and the Sports Den, all that stuff. You definitely. I'm not raunchy, you know what I mean? But like you're like real, actual fucking. This is a grown ass black man who went through all the shit, and now we here to give the perspective of that. Pretty much. All right, I want to start with like we used to work. Like we worked together a lot. I would literally pull up and just sit in the corner of y'all recording your show, paying attention, watching how you work and how you move, man. You started this back in, well, I don't know, like started. I met you after you were already like, what, 7 years into doing media?
We started, I'll tell you, I know exactly when we started. January, it was after Florida State, it was the week before Florida State played the first playoff game. Okay. So it was 2015. So I want to say it was like January 1st, January 2nd, 2015. Me and Denny did our first live show on 1010XL locally here in Jacksonville. And I talked major trash about it. I think Florida State played that night, played Oregon, and then we lost. Yeah. And then I had to come back. Then what I learned
was that like the Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay,
so then I come back, and then we got to come back the next week, and I kind of got to eat crow live on air. And then what we learned to do was we tried to do it the way that everybody else does it. Everybody wants to be, first take. They want to be, or they want to be real journalists. I was making buku money training. I didn't need this. This was something that was, Denny wanted to prove himself, and they told him that he was too old to have a show, and they told him he needed to go get an appendix. And he was my age, which is crazy.
Shout out to Denny Thompson, by the way.
He's my age, and what I am now, Denny was told he was too old to start. And then so they said the only way it will work is you go find an opinionated black guy. And they thought we were going to be like how Shannon and Skip are, or how Skip and Stephen A. But what happened is we ended up finding out that we agree with way more stuff than what people thought, and then we just figured how can we talk to people the way they talk.
Yeah. I would also say y'all aren't Skip. I love Skip. Skip is a hater though. He's a professional hater.
Skip is if you look at Skip invented the profession.
Yeah.
Skip knows how to do things, and Skip is next level, and that's how he's gotten paid. That's why he's paid very well. And
they wanted y'all to do that.
Yeah, So I learned when we're doing this that a lot of these people don't believe what they're actually telling you. They're just really, really good at having an argument. So they give them even Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith doesn't watch games.
Yeah, the GOAT.
They give him a bunch of information and a bunch of stuff, and then what happens is you pick a side, and you pick that side, and then if you know how to argue. Yeah. And I learned this taking speech and debate in high school. I can argue anything.
Yeah, that's what we're that's pardon. That's what we're,
But I don't think it works for guys who don't have a name. So when you're trying to do something, people are looking for genuine content. Will you actually believe that? And then just some of the stuff that we said, I remember when our show finally took off and when people started noticing us, is because Saturday sports talk radio is the worst day you could get.
Because most people are on it.
Nobody's in their car at Saturday at noon. You're either at the mall during that time with your family or you're home.
And that's the slot y'all had?
And that was the slot. They gave us a shit slot, and we made it successful. But what happened was we were the guy who from Missouri, I can't think of his name, the gay dude. Anyways, he was coming out, and everybody was like,
wait.
He wasn't any good, so it doesn't really. His name doesn't matter. He was good in college, but
wait, are you saying he was coming out as in he was getting drafted or coming out the closet?
No, he already came out the closet and he was getting drafted.
I don't know who we're talking about, but this is just
it's gonna come in my mind. We're
talking about every gay Missouri athlete right now.
But no, it's one. He was a defensive end. He was gay.
All right.
He got drafted by the St. Louis Rams because they had a bunch of draft picks, and everybody was like, he's not getting drafted because he's gay, and because they think that black males are not the most homophobic people in the world. Black women are the most homophobic people in the world.
Talk that talk.
But black males, we don't. In the locker room, we don't really give a fuck. I don't care who's splitting
in a real NFL locker room.
NFL, I don't care who's splitting you into or who you're splitting into. If you have 100 women, I don't want to hear about it because my girl or what I'm doing, they're not going to want me to hang out with you if they know you're have a bunch of guys. Really, if you're going to you're doing your job, man, be as fruity as all the pebbles. Yeah. If you're doing your job.
If you blocking that lineman on the field.
Right. If you man, that'd be man. So we talked about, I said, I'm going to tell you straight up. Odell Beckham, I was like, Odell Beckham is a fairy. And I said this on live radio. I said, he's a fairy. And I said, they was, oh my God. I said, man, hold up. That's not a diss of fucking ability. It's just a statement. Being gay is not it doesn't make you weaker. You're still a man. I said, he's the first person during that time. I was like, you know who I drafted first in my fantasy football team? Odell Beckham, because that fairy can ball.
Round of applause for James, all right? That was fire.
So I said that. And then people are driving, they're like, yo. So it's kind of like when Dave Chappelle show came on. I remembered it. Because this is why I remember that day. When Dave Chappelle came on, everybody came in our locker room was like, hey, yo, y'all got to watch this Dave Chappelle show. They had the blind man and the KKK. We don't know how long he's going to be on air. This man is wilding. Yeah. And so people were doing that. There's some Facebook groups. Shout out to Sports That Die Reloaded. They were putting it in there. They're like, these guys are just speaking it real. And so our show came to a point where they were like, we would just say what we wanted. And then they were like, and we started not necessarily pushing the envelope on purpose, but we're like, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to suspend us from a job that we're not getting paid for?
Yeah.
I said, that'd be the worst thing. I said, that'd be the worst thing they can do.
Yeah.
Because if they suspend us, everybody's going to want to know why we got suspended. So we started, just talking like we talk, cursing, bringing on guests that we had Justin Mincy? No, Jeremy Mincy, who was a former defense, and he like broke every FCC violation, and it was just fun because we were like and even athletes like to come on
the show,
and on the show because we didn't talk about like they're gonna give us stock answers. Like we don't need you to break down the game, like because you're not gonna tell. Like,
they were giving y'all breakdowns of the game.
Blake Bortles sucks. Like if you believe that, like you're not gonna say that.
That was the year
because you got to see him. So we had one of them D tackles come on. Malik Jackson came on, and what we would just do with Malik is we had a dentern that we called him, and he was just Robert Owens, I think that was his name, but Robert. If you Google that name, we thought he was an old white man.
Okay, that sounds like an old white man name.
It turns out he was at the time he was an 18-year-old black kid in high school, graduating high school. So we were like, oh man, come on, we're gonna have fun with this. And so he came through and we literally it was like fix my life. Malik Jackson fixed my life. And so Malik was giving him advice on how to get we were going he was in high school.
Yeah.
He got his first girlfriend. Malik was like, all right, well, this is what you're gonna do with the girl. And then we were like, yo, you need to tell her that you work at the station. Because it's a lie, but you do work here at the station. You work with us.
It's a lie.
It's not like you're not the guy. It's like, but we'll lie for you.
Yeah.
So it was like, so people could so it was more so creating characters. And what we realized is that more than just giving people game, this is entertainment. So,
I don't know if I mentioned the name. This was Sports Den on 1010XL here in Jack. And this was when, the year that you're talking about, I was in high school still. I didn't listen to the sports radio at all. I didn't know anything about it.
Which is why we thought he was an old white man. Because we were like, what height? I was like, what? Because I would say, then the same year, not Detroit. Was it Detroit? Yeah, Mitch Trubisky got drafted. And,
okay.
Because I remember, and I was like, I said, drafting Mitch Trubisky is like going to Las Vegas, falling in love with a prostitute and telling your family you're going to trade all your possessions and go live with the prostitute.
Oh, God.
So a person calls in and says, I'm driving around with my child and you're talking about Backpage and prostitutes on your radio show. And I'm like, you're a terrible parent. Wait. What parent listens to sports radio with their child? Yeah, it's like with their child. Because we'll get the emails.
Yeah.
So the director
so people were actually sending emails about the show.
So they'll send the email to the director.
That's the best part, bro.
And then they'll send the email to us and then he'll send it back and be like, yo, you're supposed to not make my life harder. And I'm like, who the fuck listens to, I was like,
people are responding to the radio.
You should be a really good parent like me and let your kid listen to Bruno Mars like every other normal kid. Cause my kid, 24 Karat Magic was big then.
Oh my God.
So my son wanted,
I remember that song.
My 10-year-old wanted to listen to Bruno Mars. We're not listening to sports talk radio. I'm a good dad. So we were just talking about so we would bring those things up, but it was entertaining. But I ended up being right. Mr. Trubisky is ass.
Was trash.
Blake, I don't knock Blake. Blake is a goat. The boat.
Shout out to Blake, man.
Blake gave us the best year of our life. It was the best of time.
Yeah,
that's what we were coming.
So all right. What was it like covering them in 2017? All right, because literally, that was the year I had just graduated high school.
Right.
We were meeting me and my crew. We were meeting every single game at Buffalo Wild Wings. So just watch Rowdy cheer things on. I wasn't doing podding. I wasn't doing radio then.
It was the wildest year I've ever had in sports, and in local sports, we all forgot. We have a schedule. So you have the NFL schedule. We're used to being out of the conversation in November, so then people start talking about bowl games, and then we do National Signing Day in February. But that year we went so deep, everybody forgot about regularly scheduled programming, and the high school, Jacksonville's big. We get a ton of recruits. Man, we didn't give a fuck, man. Fuck them kids. We didn't care nothing about them kids. Everybody was, and people were disappointed.
MFTK.
But to go back to our show, we had Mike Dempsey, who does Jaguars Today, really good show, wanted to fight us because they're so fucking positive all the time about the Jags. And we looked at it and I said, this Jaguars team is so bad. Not 2017, but when we first started. I was like, they're so bad that if they win 5 games, they should throw a fucking parade.
Yeah.
I was like, and they were talking, everybody else was like, oh, we're going to make the playoffs. We drafted Dante Fowler and blah, blah, blah. And then we did this, and we wanted Amari Cooper because we were like, we need a wide receiver. We don't need a DN. Dante Fowler blows out his knee, and I'm like, we definitely finna suck now. So they suck. So every year we were the team that's like, I mean, the guys that were like, you want us to, y'all want the truth, or y'all want us to be like
y'all
everybody
being
else?
as optimistic every single, be delusional Jags fans.
So we developed a relationship with Malik Jackson. Malik Jackson has his camp. Then we meet Calais, and everybody comes out. Calais Campbell comes out and tells me and Calais are live on radio. And Calais is like, you're gonna eat your words. We're gonna win. We got a chance at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I said, Calais, if you guys go 8-8, you should look at that as a victory. And he's like, I was like, is Blake Bortles? Like,
but y'all made a bet.
We didn't make a bet, but it was just he was so confident. And I was just like, huh.
Oh wait, NFL players can't bet. Thanks, Calvin Ridley. Thanks, Calvin Ridley. We appreciate it.
Well, no, they can't bet on teams.
Yeah.
You also shouldn't bet on team facilities.
Yeah.
Just letting you guys know that. Just for the Detroit Lions players who found out the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
But he says this, and then I'm like, okay, well, maybe we'll do some things. Then this is when Kaepernick stuff is getting hot.
Okay.
So we're okay.
This is all like the same time. That's kind of crazy.
Year.
That's crazy.
So 4-5, who is, I love, Bush is my favorite president. W.
Okay.
Not HW, W, because he's just
okay.
W say whatever the fuck you want to say. Like it's just he's not the smartest person like me. I just like he gave me hope that anybody can be president.
Okay.
4-5 is what when he came on, it changed my whole mentality on talking. Like can't nobody tell me I'm too crass, I'm too brash, because I'm being presidential. He said whatever. He'd be wilding. I love it. So he goes and calls them sons of bitches because like somebody was kneeling.
Oh, Kaepernick? Okay.
Yeah, so when he came on and said all these NFL players are sons of bitches, that's when every NFL player was like, okay, well, now we're going to show you some sons of bitches. So every NFL player was kneeling, not because they even agreed with Cap. They were like, you ain't finna just come out here and talk about us.
Now that I didn't know at all.
So in London, everybody, because this is when Jerry Jones did the whole thing where I'm gonna take a knee too because McCullough's.
Oh, that picture was terrible. Yo, I gotta pull that picture now.
Yeah, it's an awful. Like,
Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys. If you don't know,
Jerry was like I got so people like at certain
locking arms with the black players next to him.
You know where your bread is buttered. I don't care what anybody says. The NFL needs black players more than black players need the NFL. Imagine going back to the 60s and watching
Jerry Jones kneeling down praying.
So when the Jags did this in London, everybody was in an uproar. To come on sports radio after that, oh my goodness. These people were talking reckless. We had a lady come on and say, oh, me and the people in section such and such, we have decided that we're not going to support the Jags anymore because they kneel doing that. And I told them, I'm like, first off, my baby mama is military. It's like, y'all don't give a fuck about the military. I know you don't give a fuck about the military. I see it firsthand every day. You don't give a fuck about the military. Yeah. So let's chill out on this. Secondly, I say, you mean to tell me the Jags haven't been to the playoffs in over a decade? At that point, I said, this is when I learned. I said, you average 3 wins a season. So if the Jaguars go on a run, you're gonna boycott the Jaguars. I said, bullshit. I said, America loves a winner. And that's what people are like, you just don't, then them motherfuckers went on a run.
Started running 2017.
And so the same year, this is when I tell people, like, and they get mad at me on social media, but I'm a realist. I'm the most consistent person that you'll ever see, and I value consistency. America loves a winner. People don't really value what they say they value because you're going to hang around
as long as the W's. As long as it's W's. People will sell. This is why OnlyFans is working. Chicks will bet. Chicks. It used to be a bad thing to be a sex worker. Now you go and pay. You charging people $5.99 to go see you play with a dildo. Really? Yeah. My whole life, not my whole life, but my whole adult life, it's been acceptable and out in the open.
So it's new now. But I remember when I was coming up, they was like, "Oh, you didn't want to be like, nah, it's hot girl son." But it's going to come a time. This is why I was telling young men, just wait. 35 is that sweet spot.
Yeah.
35, like you're going to have enough money. You're going to be not too old, but not too young. You'll be able to pitch up to the old women who now the people my age don't want them because they thoughts. You used and abused, so they have to go manipulate the younger generation.
Trap them. Cougars out there.
Cougars, which I've been.
Listen, man, shout out to all the Jacksonville Jaguars and Jacksonville Cougars. Appreciate y'all. Yo, that should be a team. We need a women's football team here called the Jacksonville Cougars right now.
So I'm thinking about, I see that we used to have a lingerie football team here.
Really?
And
what?
I used to, yeah.
I didn't. All right, now we got a lingerie football team.
I used to train them. Yeah, the Jacksonville Breeze.
Jacksonville. Are you joking me right now?
No, the fuck serious.
What year was this? When? Wow. I did not know we had a lingerie football team.
It might have been like.
Wow.
Wait a minute, hold on. So I got here in 07.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2013. We had a lingerie football team.
I was at Kirby Smith Middle School.
It was amazing. It was great. This is when I learned that women hate women.
Yeah. The Jacksonville Breeze or
Breeze
like BRE? Like
BREEZE.
Okay. My sister named Bree, so I didn't know if it was like a team full of girls named Bree.
That would have been cool. Like I would literally. Now that you just made me think. There's no need. We could just take that logo and just tweak it a little bit. Jacksonville Cougars,
bro.
Because a lot of those women were Cougars.
Yeah,
they were.
Listen, Shad, Tony, whoever watching this, we need an NFL lingerie. Well, I don't know what's lingerie football. LFL lingerie football team. No, Jacksonville Cougars. Like, come back.
We talked about this on the show. You was doing the stuff with me on the show. Miles went and found the highlights.
Yeah. I didn't know that was Jacksonville. I saw the girls hitting each other.
So I knew the girl like Angie. Like Angie,
you didn't tell me that.
Angie finding them off. Yeah. Angie is an Amazon.
Yeah.
And she literally went viral. Made Sports Center for trucking the bitch. And then they got the one chick from the Atlanta team, which I believe should have been called the Atlanta Strokers after the great strip club up there, or Magic City, because nothing but you couldn't tell me that they didn't go to the strip club,
Atlanta Magic,
and bring up a whole bunch of girls from the strip club and just bring them down.
Oh, they was athletic. They was
twerking.
They was jumping.
One girl ran somebody over and then she twerked over her.
Yo, I didn't gonna lie. That's a fire football celebration. I ain't gonna lie.
I was just thinking. And going back to what we were talking about, imagine OBJ does a little falling back, one hand catch in the end zone, and you're the DB and you fall back with him, and after he catches it and the referee goes here, OBJ stands over you and starts twerking. Somebody's got to die. Somebody's got to go, man.
Yo, that's crazy.
So like just the thing. So going back to 2017,
I don't want to see that shit at all.
We had we had the greatest 2 men in Duval County history who I believe we actually asked Mayor Curry to reinstate them to the Jaguars facilities because we had the fight.
Who were they?
I forgot their names. I just know they had the best. You come into these stands, you're going to catch these hands.
Oh, I remember that.
We're not going to let y'all Ron Artest us.
The dude with the Seahawks game.
So the Seahawks game, Buddy comes in, they hit Buddy with a Gatorade bottle. If he would have had his helmet on, it wouldn't have hurt as bad. But he decided he wanted to get bucked, which the game was pandemonium.
He was like, crowded. Who threw that? You?
Mind you, the Pilgrims said they weren't coming here because the knee. But the Seahawks game, we went on a run. We were good. So the Seahawks game, crazy. I'm in there. I'm in Jalen Ramsey's box with his pops. Let me tell you this right here. Go ahead. Jalen is sassy. His brother is sassy. They are less sassy around their pops. Pops don't play that.
Yo.
Pops is an old black man. Yeah. And it's like it's almost like one time I noticed it on an interview. Like he looked at him like, and then Jalen's voice got deeper. Yeah. All of a sudden, it became more baritone.
None of that. You tell me. You tell me.
So that got us people listening to us because we did that was the year we did Jalen Ramsey's Sweet and Sassy Barbecue. So,
that's funny as hell.
And we said...
That's funny as hell.
Which I'm mad because I just saw Dr. Pepper did some baked beans that they're calling sweet and sassy baked beans because of the little sweets with Dr. Pepper. I'm like,
James did it first.
You stole my whole flow, word for word, bar for bar.
Send a cease and desist, man. But James did it first.
So we was doing spoof. We were doing spoof commercials because they gave you on radio how it works. There's 2 ways to make money. You sell the commercials, and each show gets you get 3 minutes of We got 90 seconds of commercial spots. So that means we can sell 3 commercials because most of the time it's 30-second spots.
Yeah.
So we didn't have no spots to sell. So we were like, well, we ain't finna just let somebody else get money. So let me go do some fake commercials. So literally off the dome, freestyle. I did Jalen Ramsey sweet and sassy barbecue sauce, and I was like, "Is it the number one barbecue sauce in the league by the number one corner in the league?" And then we were like, "Is it the best barbecue sauce? Why don't we ask Jalen?" And he's like, "I don't know. You tell me." So we did that in 2017. We had the Florida Gators coach. We came up with a nickname called him Butters because his teeth were really yellow.
Okay.
So we came up with Butter
That's
Knocker.
crazy. I thought you were about to say he had on Timberlands.
Nah. His teeth. It's because of his teeth were like really crazy. So if you're an old black man, or I guess white people do. I don't know what old white. I didn't grow up white, but we had Banaka, which was the spray, the mint spray. So you go up. And you go over, you talk to a chick and do all these things. So we said his teeth is so yellow that he's got to be having a spray that he just goes to his teeth, get that good glow. So we did a Butter Knocker. And then
that's great.
There was a company here. This was a real commercial.
Yeah.
Randy's Nuts. So we did. So 2017, we're winning.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a live D's Nuts commercial on radio, 30 seconds, all of them. So all of our commercials, we never did like your standard. You'll go, "Hi, I'm James Coleman.
Yeah.
This is what we do right here." And
I've been in the radio game.
You do that shit. People turn. What happens when you hear a commercial?
Oh, you go and figure something else out.
We're going live, like live radio. We're doing this. We'll see you guys back. And then immediately, right after that, we do our live commercial. So it's sneak. You're like, wait a minute, the show's still here. So we sneaking a commercial into you without you even knowing.
Yeah.
But man, when I did the D's Nuts commercial, it was literally about what we just talked about. And I said we called it the playoff nuts. And like we had playoff nuts. There were, then somebody said they didn't like something. I said you can go down there to Randy's Nuts and get the big game James nuts. You can have my nuts all in your mouth. They're lemon pepper flavored. And then we came up with the lemon pepper wings thing that now somebody else took over, but whatever. But we had the whole world eating lemon pepper. We had all Jacksonville eating lemon pepper hot
Listen,
wings.
You heard it here first, goddamn it. Air horn one time, man. Air horn for James Coleman. The big game, James.
The cool thing about radio, though, is that you could be as creative in podcasting.
Yeah.
And that's where podcasting became like natural.
Yeah.
We would take our show.
You transition from radio over to podcasting.
So like,
I think that's when I met y'all.
Yeah. So 2017 we have that, then we suck, and then they fire him, and then they bring in Urban Meyer. Our radio station basically sold their booty to Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer, 1010, yeah. So they're this official station of the Jags. So they were going to make Urban do 2 shows a week. So
on the radio.
So we were already not on Tuesdays because Helmets and Hills is too late. Friday nights during the fall, we don't do that because they do high school games.
Okay.
Urban's show was going to have a show on Wednesday, and then we're going to have a show on Thursday. They were going to they wanted to push us back for a rebroad. So we were only going to be on Mondays and Sundays. And our spot now we're cooking. Like we making bread. Like we have ABC, Fine Wine and Spirits, the largest liquor company in
is that when Green Acres
Florida.
was already around?
We got Green Acres now. We got who else do we have? ABC, Green Acres.
The cigar?
We had the Cigar Lounge. Didn't come, but we had we had Dr. Capasso, MD Med Spa. So we had, like now everybody's talking about men's health and things. So we had that well before everybody else happened. And they were just like, nah, y'all, like, we need y'all to be on more because we paying y'all really, really, like, I make really good money doing this. So we go do that, and then shit, they tell us that we're going to be on 2 days a week. And then we need y'all to come up with an idea, or we'll put y'all on the podcast network. And we like, why the fuck would we just do, like, we don't need y'all for that.
Yeah.
So
from off radio, they were trying to from off radio to the podcast.
July 17th.
Okay.
I go do my book bag drive, which I do annually now. I catch COVID. Like, almost
clap
died.
It up. Okay.
Almost died.
Oh, this is the first day we were supposed to. This was the first day we were supposed to be, like when the book bag drive.
The book bag drive. So
yeah,
actually, I saw you.
That's
so
when we caught up.
The book bag
so
drive.
yeah. This is when the first time I was supposed to meet James because he had a book bag drive that he was doing, and I did the one that was you in Tallahassee, and then you were doing one in Jacksonville.
And I couldn't make it. I was out of the hospital.
Yeah, over by Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. So I didn't show up to that one. They were running that.
Yeah, and that's the one that I went out to. That was the first time that I went out there to Andrew Jackson, and pretty much, man, salute to you, by the way. Yeah. I know we got a story real quick, but since you do this every year,
it's James,
big games, James, book bag drive, backpack drive. You inspired me to try to figure my shit out because I used to go to them as a kid, and when I went to yours and saw people giving out food, backpacks, and all this stuff, I'm like, okay, let me figure out how I can do this later on down the line and things like that. But
everybody should have a Nino Brown moment. If you don't know who that is, go watch New Jack City. He was the big time drug dealer. He was throwing out turkeys to the poor people. I was like, everybody should have that drug dealer moment. Oh, that's you feel like you're giving back. That's
like Donald Trump when he was throwing out toilet tissue.
You gotta have
this is for you.
Like, yo, you gotta have that moment. It's really dope. Like to be able to have that moment. But so I almost died.
Okay. Well, thankfully you didn't. We didn't meet that day because you were sick. But I met your crew. I met the people who was out there.
1010 sends me flowers, so people thought I died.
Wow.
Because like this is when COVID was real. Like when people was sending this, I'm like, yo, y'all know me. I fucking almost died. I was 215 pounds when I left the hospital. Jeez. I hadn't been 215 since high school. Like it's a lot. I looked in the mirror. And I didn't know who I was looking at. I hadn't seen it.
It was that much of a difference?
It was that much of a difference. I'm like, who the fuck is
How long did you have it?
I was in the hospital for 10 days.
Okay.
So it got out. It's trying to get better. Mind you, so this was we're in 2020.
2020? Yeah, 2023.
So this is 2021 when I caught it. I ain't heard from nobody from 1010XL. I've never been officially fired from 1010XL.
To this day.
To this day, nobody sent me. My code probably still works.
Yeah.
I just haven't heard from anybody. And then the next week, my coach, and this is when I knew I wasn't welcome back. I wasn't coming back. My position coach, my head coach, Bobby Bowden, died like that next week. As soon as I got out, Bobby died. They had so you can Google me. I played for fuck. I wasn't just there. I like actually played.
Yeah, James played for Florida. I don't know if I even intro. James played football for Florida State.
I really played,
scoring touchdowns, and everything.
I talked to Bobby. I interviewed Bobby twice a year. So like me and Bobby talked. They had a Bobby Bowden special at 1010XL.
Didn't call you?
I didn't get one call from the station I work at. Everybody's like, yo.
That's crazy.
They're like, why you ain't got James? Didn't James play for Bobby? Like, no, nobody called me. I'm talking about I'm doing national radio. I'm doing every other local show. Yeah. Like I'm doing the ops. I'm doing First Coast News. I did News for Jacks. I did all these things. But the station that I actually went in, I was like, oh, y'all just really don't give a fuck about
crazy.
Me. It's crazy when you think about it because it would have been a slam dunk for them. Like you get the double whammy. You get the COVID sympathy and you get the guy who played for Bobby. You get to hear some stories. The ratings would have been
out of here.
I could have picked like all the people everybody I know played for Bobby. So it could have had Peter Warwick. We could have had some of the dopest Florida State players could have came on and just talked about Bobby, which is what we did for everybody else. So then after that, that's when I told Denny, I'm not fucking stepping foot in that station. I was like, I don't care about almost dying. Bump that. That's cool. But like, yo, that was just major disrespect. Y'all didn't even call me. That's like that old white man. That old white man, damn, it was the dad that I never knew. So we go through all that shit, and then me and Denny was just like, then I talked to the sponsors. They was like, man, we don't really fuck with 1010 like that. We want y'all.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's the natural thing. Again, it's the genuineness. Like,
yeah. It's also like the times of the day, like the people.
Yeah.
Like are like y'all had the people then. You doing your podcast, You've been doing your show. Literally like I started working with y'all pretty much way later in y'all's story for probably about the 3 months that I was there. And people were literally coming up to me like, was that your laugh in the background of James and Denny's show? I'm like, what are you listen, my laugh in the background of people's shows.
Everybody
in the corner.
Our producer, JJ, who I was actually like, I'm mad. The only thing I'm mad about is that we had a good thing and people keep asking me the same stupid ass question. Like, are y'all going to ever come back to 1010? And I'm like, no.
It's gone now.
Go subscribe to my fucking YouTube and then just listen to it. But it was.
What's the YouTube channel right now, by the way?
Den Media Group.
Den Media Group, Big Game James. Go look it up.
BS is on there, but we'll have, once football season, we'll have about 4 different shows that will be on Den Media Group. Each one of those shows would be doing it's going to become more of a network. Yeah. But, like I said, that's but 2017 really spearheaded a lot of this stuff, and then it was fun. But then we used to joke after that because then we sucked again, and we were like, it was the best. Like, what was it? Not A Catcher in the Rye. What's one of them books that they made us read in high school? Where it's like it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, and so we would just say it was the best of time, and it was the worst of times because it was 1 year. But last year was very similar to what 17. Actually, last year I think was more fun. Because we got a little bit of that back, but you really have optimism moving into
forward.
The next
it's
year.
Not the same as like a little one. Okay, I didn't know this was going to happen. One and gun type thing.
Yeah, like because we didn't really like Blake.
Bortles?
But we liked Blake for the going to the third round, and Blake didn't make any mistakes and he didn't do anything. But like you knew, we didn't really have a number one wide receiver, and it's just even some of the what
was that year? Robinson and Hearns were that year.
So Robinson had got hurt.
Okay.
Hearns was just there, but he wasn't the guy.
Okay.
But one of the guys talked about, and we didn't like Alan Hearns, but it wasn't because Alan Hearns' mom lost us the easiest fucking sponsor we had ever had.
Wow, really?
All of this, and I'm not mad at them. Rogers Towers had every reason to fire us because of it.
Okay.
They're one of the oldest law firms. They listened to our show. They liked it. The guy who was the head of it, when we went into our meeting, I knew we were going to crush it. His phone rang. It was still DRE. So, like, again, when you think top-notch law firm, you're thinking, like, all right, man, it's finna be, I'm going to have to enunciate my words.
Yeah.
But when I heard that, I was okay. I was like, all right, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
All they wanted us to do was community service stuff and market our community service that we were setting up that their law firm could put on top of it.
Okay.
And so it's not exhausting. We didn't need commercials. We didn't need anything. All we needed to do was run a fucking event. And we were like, all right, bet. That's not a hard thing. And it was I think we were getting paid we get $5,000 a month just to do that. I'm like, this shit is.
Yeah. Keep that shit rolling. That's a slap.
Money.
That's a slap.
We partnered with Alan Hearns, and then Alan Hearns' mom did like this. She had like this single mothers thing or whatever, and she was, they gave Christmas gifts.
Okay.
And when I tell you this hood booger was like, just fucked it up. Like, so they were like, just tell us what you need, we'll raise the money. She didn't give us a Christmas list. I'm like, get us a Christmas list but then she gets us a Christmas list on the Monday before Black Friday.
It's over.
Thinking we finna like get like, yo, ain't nobody just writing no check.
Yeah.
You should have been got us this. And then she got mad, and then what she did was she went to the company,
law people?
To the law people.
Oh, no.
And she was raising a fuss, and she's like, I'm going to do this. She went real hood black chick on us. And then I'm like, yo, damn, dog. Like, you really just fucked up our bread. And then they had a guy who wanted to be Santa. This man this is a lawyer who does high-profile cases, that was willing to dress in a red suit and let little pissy kids sit on his lap and listen to him. Like, we had it all planned out. They were going to have a Santa Claus there. The Rogers Towers people were going to probably dress as elves and shit.
That's
fire.
There
was going to be kids. And it was like, boom, slammed up, boom, bam, boom. What it came down to is she wanted some bread.
Oh, she asked the law people
for the money. And I think they gave her a check. And then it was nothing we could, at that point, we got one more event. We had a really successful kids combine. So we did a kids combine. It was dope. A lot of kids came out, but it was nothing that we could really do
to get that,
overcome that first one. And because they were like, and they were
that's
just
rough.
Like, we're gonna give you our 30 days here. I'm like, man, this bitch really fucked up. So we didn't like Alan Hearns.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything Allen did,
but by association.
Fuck Allen.
And the Jags weren't that
and
good.
Allen had just got a new contract.
Yeah,
we just hit him for $40 million.
Yeah, but the caliber of a player, you couldn't overcome. So, if it's a good player, you don't care what they pay him to do.
In one of the games, Allen caught a drag route, and he got they knocked the shit out of his leg.
Oh shit!
And he kind of bear crawled or whatever to the sideline. And then one of the players,
I remember that play to save the timeout. I remember that play.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So one of the players talked about that very transforming moment.
Yeah.
But we don't fuck with Allen at this point. So I'm like, this motherfucker act like Alan Hearns. He was the major. So he did the Major Payne. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but he was talking about.
I've seen the movie Major Payne.
When he was doing the little train story, and he's like, and then this dude, they blew off his legs.
Yeah.
And he didn't know he was trying to walk. He said, I can't walk. He said, you ain't got no legs. So what I did was I said, and Allen caught that pass. And then they came over there and they blew his leg off. And then Allen was just like, I'm going to get to out of bounds. I was like, Allen, you ain't got no legs, Allen. So we were doing that. And then people were like, they were cracking up. They didn't know why we were picking on Allen.
Yeah.
But that's why. But then they won, and then they didn't do anything after that. And then, but this year right here was all kinds of dope. Trevor Lawrence was cool. hoping Travis Etienne does better because Travis Etienne aggravates the fuck out of me.
Really? You know, that is interesting. You definitely are like your mindset, you definitely don't see it as just a fan of the sport because the way that you critique players, when I was like doing the show, I was like, damn, I didn't even know.
Well,
I didn't think about this.
Dislike him. There's only one player in Jags. There's only one time I ever got really personal.
With Jags player?
Yeah, with a Jags player. And that was the defensive tackle from Florida that sucked.
Taven Bryan?
Taven Bryan. Yeah, I fucking hate Taven Bryan. Like, oh God, I used to be like, yo, if I see Taven, like it's on sight. Like,
that was the big white dude. We kept hanging around forever and didn't do nothing, no season.
So again, okay, my bad. So this is perfect. So 2017, we're all on the high. We draft Taven Bryan. Florida fans are like, who the fuck is Taven Bryan? I watched a highlight of Taven Bryan. We have a center that was at Florida State. Worst center in Florida State history. Was whooping his ass. I said, oh shit, we don't want this guy. Yeah. If that guy can whoop his ass, ain't nobody in the NFL. I have never seen a guy lose every rep in a drill. He went one-on-ones. He went one-on-ones. It was the first OTA. They're going out there. He's going up against an undrafted rookie free agent guard, and that guard is whooping his ass. And the coach won't let him move on until Taven wins a rep. And Calais literally had to go, "Hey man, just let him win." And I'm like, "This is what y'all want me to talk." I said,
the mayor of Saxonville was saving that day.
I told him, I don't think Taven's a good person based upon how he plays. I don't think he cares about anything in life. But whatever, he's not here. And I told people, I said, if Urban Meyer wanted to win, he would cut Taven. He didn't. Dougie P, though.
Yeah.
Said, nah, sorry, motherfucker, get out of here. And you see what happened.
Another player you were critical of, man, when I was doing your show, Caleb Chasen. You hated that pick. You hated that pick,
Clavicle Chasen, man.
You hated that pick.
They're like, this is his name. I said, I will learn how to say your name when you make a play.
Yeah.
You can't be. It's not so much. I didn't understand the pick. And what's wild is I know Dave Caldwell very well now. And Dave Caldwell's a really good guy, really smart guy. I still don't understand that one. But Clavicle, whatever, his nickname is Sack Guru.
Sack Guru, yeah.
But you ain't got no sacks. You ain't had no sacks in college. I'm like, how are we drafting? And that's the only problem I have with the Jags draft at times. I'm like, we're drafting people to do something that they've never shown that they have the capacity to do. And then they drafted the crazy boy who's like bipolar, the cornerback from Florida. I don't know why they keep drafting Florida people. He's up in
Henderson.
Yeah, is it not EJ? CJ Henderson.
Yeah.
He's bipolar. I was like, but you should do some research on this stuff.
I went to high school with his sister.
No, and I'm just saying I don't dislike CJ as much as
Taven,
or Clavicle, but you gotta draft these guys. But now, ETN, the reason why I'm upset with him has nothing to do with his play.
What is it?
I have seen this man destroy Florida State for 4 years. I had to watch.
Yeah.
If I don't know anybody else, I know Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. I have seen them whoop my alma mater's ass every year. It's painful. I've seen him never fumble against Florida State. I've seen him make people miss. I've seen him accelerate, score touchdowns. This motherfucker gets to the NFL, he is fumbling everything. Yeah. He can't dodge a phone a phone pole at times. I'm like, yo, what is... where's the guy from Florida State? Do what you did to us.
The hits is harder in the NFL, man.
Right, what I'm saying is it's like one time he broke a long run, and it's plenty of space.
Yeah.
How the fuck? Why are you running right to the guy? I'm like, come on, bro. Is that in the NFL script? Did they tell you to go run into this guy? But I think he's a good player. But all jokes aside, they're young and in the right places. They're gonna grow. And you can have optimism based upon them bringing in Calvin Ridley, Calvin Ridley's like my age, even though he's a rookie. I'm 38. I'll be 39.
What? You're not 38.
No, I'll be 39. Wow. I'll be 39 in July. But Calvin Ridley's not that old, but I think he's like 29.
Yeah.
He wasn't your normal rookie. He was he had a pension when he came out of college. He's old, but he's good.
Yeah.
I think him with everybody else, I think that makes
Kirk and all those. I'm excited for this season, man. I started going out there doing just recording stuff with the people, with our fans.
I'm glad we got rid of Shaq
every
Griffin
game.
Too.
Oh yeah,
I think that was the funny thing because then he talked about him. So when I asked, I was like, "Is that the one with one hand or two hands?"
Yeah, I remember that. I remember you asking that. I was actually in the house when you asked that.
Then he was like, "He's the first DB I've ever seen with no muscle definition. His arms are just straight. Like there ain't no cut in his arm." And I'm glad he's one. I'm happy for you and young Tokyo, whatever her name is, and y'all babies and stuff. But man, y'all take that to Houston.
Yeah, that boy wasn't here for the Jags.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man,
he was
she
here
got
for Tokyo
some
Jets.
women here. Listen, man, there's some women here in Jacksonville that'll get you.
I'm really stuck on that lingerie football team. I really did not. I missed out on a great childhood experience.
Man, listen, I went and watched it can't be older. It had to be like 9 years ago because my oldest son was born when I was doing that, and it was. I mean, it's something to watch, man.
Yeah.
It was some like they're fit women that are running into each other, and like the only way I can describe it's like. They don't have a real helmet. They have like a hockey helmet with a little glass shield over it. They don't have any thigh pads.
It's like it looks like one of them Dragon Ball Z visors that people were putting on.
They're wearing volleyball knee pads, and a lot of them have boobs. So like the shoulder pads don't even like really protect anything, and they're like really going out here and smashing each other,
clacking,
and
entertainment.
Yeah,
all in the name of entertainment.
Very entertainment.
We're at 45 right now. All right, so we're doing good. We got a great show coming up. James, real quick. All right, so what your NFL experience? All right, we can go with that.
Wasn't very good.
Okay,
so like
let's talk about your NFL experience, and then I got some questions to close us out.
So I went. That was the first time I never played. I got paid, but like I don't have any NFL film.
Okay.
When I was on the roster, I have no NFL film.
What team? What year?
New Orleans Saints, 2006. And I knew it was going to be rough for me. And this is a funny story. I always tell people, I came in I was an undrafted free agent. They have rookie minicamp after the draft. So I flew out to New Orleans. I tweaked my ankle doing something, and I knew I made it. But I'm like, I want to make this team. And there was this white guy that was that. So you go there. New Orleans got good food. So I go there to go get my food. All our athletic trainers had white New Orleans Saints hat, black polo, like some gray New Orleans Saints shorts, and then they had like the Nike coaching shoe or whatever. That's what this random white person looked like.
Okay.
He looked like every fucking trainer that there, but I only saw one side of his face. And I go over there, I'm like, hey, man, after we get our meal, man, do you mind getting me some ice so I can put it on my ankle just so when I go to the hotel, I could be right. He's like, nah, I can't do that for you. I'm like, well, man, what the – and then I got mad because I'm trying to make this team.
Yeah.
So, man, what you mean? That's your job. You're the trainer. Like, what do you mean? He's like – then he turns. He says, I'm not the trainer. I'm Drew Brees. I'm the quarterback. And then I saw – when he was saying that, I saw the mark on his face.
Wow.
And I was just like – and the first thing I called my mom, I said, hey. I said, Mom, I'm coming back home. She's like, what'd you do? She's like, I offended the franchise quarterback. I did not mean to do it. I asked the franchise quarterback.
You told the Super Bowl winning quarterback.
This was before the Super Bowl, though. We didn't know what he was going to be. Yeah, so like we didn't know if his arm was even working.
Drew, go get my ice, white boy.
So that's what I did, and basically that was the high point.
Yeah.
It didn't get any better from there.
Drew went to put your New Orleans career on ice.
Basically, Drew Brees fucked my career, my NFL career. But it's the first time I never played.
Okay.
And I had been fighting like my whole life, like just trying to work, trying to be a grind. And I was just tired, and I just said, you know what? After that, I got into training athletes. I made a decent amount of money. And then I was like, this is just what I want to do. And then it kept me around sports. And then I started coaching. And then really I have no idea. Like most people have career paths. I didn't even care about going to the NFL. Like I didn't grow up playing football. I watched it, but I was the first Division I athlete in my family. Then my sister was after me, but like I didn't play ball. We played in the streets, but like nobody in my neighborhood really made it. And so like having that path was random. Then getting in, and I hated working out. So owning a gym and being successful in the gym definitely didn't match what the fuck I hated.
You hated it then or now? Like
I still hate it now, but I definitely hated it as a player. I did it because it was what was necessary to be good. But if I could have figured out a way to be good without doing that, I would have done something else. So when people found out that I had a gym and I'm training all these athletes, they were like, all right. Then for me, a guy who hates writing, to get into media and to get into all of this other stuff, like everything that I do, I mean, it makes sense when you really think about it. But for me, I'm like, I would have never thought about doing any of these different things
if it wasn't for that.
But now I'm like, shit, if I'd have known I could have made money without hitting people, I'd have been great.
Okay.
I should have been did that.
James, do you have an answer for how to solve CTE? How could we help that in the world?
CTE? CTE is a boogeyman.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't dementia exists. Alzheimer's exists. Running in full speed into another human being is not what the body was designed to do. It's not smart
at all.
So
headbutting people.
So what happens is, and this is truth, and you can go look it up. They're looking at the guy who made it popular is a crock. He's not even a doctor anymore. He's like a televangelist at this point. They've done all kinds of studies to say that his science wasn't really valid because he didn't have enough report. They didn't even have a regular brain. So, like, for example, if Myron, I don't want anything to happen to Myron Rose. Great great doctor. When Myron dies, if we see all of that stuff in Myron's head, all right, I'll believe a little bit more of the CTE. But all of the people who have CTE are terrible people. And what I mean by that is,
you
just
say
think
that,
about
this is where my question is going.
Oh, okay.
So I'm glad you're going in the right direction.
So yeah, just think it's like Chico, what's the gay boy, Aaron Hernandez.
That was on the list of the next question I'm asking you.
Chico was a killer.
Yeah,
he smoked. He did coke. He drank a lot, and he was addicted to prescription pills. His brain was fucked up from that. He didn't need to run into people. Even some of the guys who are dealing with this, they have drug abuse, they have alcohol abuse. And what I heard one doctor say, even though it was crass and it's probably not great bedside manner, he was like, CTE is the boogeyman that they sprinkle on terrible people at their death so that their families can cope with it a little bit better. Like, nah, like I'm not gonna give people outs like that.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you brought up Aaron Hernandez because that was actually part of my next question. All right. I was going to ask, of all the players in the league who people think was affected by CTE, you get to save one career. Antonio Brown's, Aaron Hernandez, and I'll let you pick the third one. Whoever's been reckless in the league that everybody was like, oh, my God. If one of them could have been a great, whose career would you rather have none of that bullshit happen and you just wanted them to keep going?
Antonio Brown's career was like really, his story is really dope until now.
Yes.
Like,
so you're picking AB?
Like, I was just taking AB. Like, if Chico wasn't killing people, like this is what people need to know about the NFL. In anything. So like even the John Moran, I don't want to hear that shit. If you're really, really good at what you do, nobody gives a fuck. Like, it's just a slow news day with John Morant. Chico was literally out here doing real gang activities and winning Super Bowls and playing for the, like, so I don't want to hear that shit. But like, Warren Sapp didn't do anything to get himself kicked out of the league. Wow. Like
those are the only two that I literally only thought of AB.
Most people you don't see the real effects until afterwards.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's really CT. I think it's this. And this is what you deal with depression when you're at a high level and everybody recognizes you, and then it's turned off like that. Nobody knows who you are anymore. Nobody gives a fuck. You don't get VIP anymore, and you now got to pay for the same experiences because what I tell athletes and entertainers are the bad bitches of the male society. Like, I get everything for free. Like, you can't come up and say I get this. I said, me too. Like what you want me to tell you? But now you don't get that.
Wait, you said athletes and entertainers are the bad,
so like rappers and all the
bad bitches.
Are the bad bitches of the males.
Okay.
So like, just think about a fine woman.
I see what you're saying now.
I get VIP, get my drinks paid for, get all that stuff. Like, yeah, I get all of that, except for somebody might pay me $5,000 to $15,000 to actually be here and give me this stuff.
Got it.
You're just a hanger on. But I say all that to say is like, if you're not doing something after that, like you have to pay the $5,000 to get the VIP and get the drinks and get the stuff because you still want to do that and your entourage is used to that.
Yeah.
Then you run out of money and then you don't have that anymore, and now you're battling depression. And you were somebody,
the top of the world,
and now you're nobody. And I think that's what really messes up the brain. That's why they get addicted to alcohol and other
You think
drugs.
That's AB?
I think AB is just AB's probably got some borderline, like he's probably got like bipolar and got some other things, and it's like Kanye. That's why him and Kanye click. It's nothing wrong. Kanye doesn't have CTE. He never ran into anybody, but he's bipolar. And when you're that good, and I say this too, people who are really like athletes, people who are really, really good at one thing, they're weird. They're not well balanced. Like Kanye's been saying wild, weird shit forever. And we just didn't really recognize it until he decided that he wanted to go attack the only group. It's only two groups that I fear. I don't want no smoke with. It's the consonants and them. I ain't even gonna say. I ain't even gonna say who them is. I'm cool with all y'all, man. Whatever y'all say.
That's cool.
Y'all got it.
Listen, man. I think whatever happened to AB, it helped him make great music. I ain't gonna lie. AB's music is fire, bro. Put that shit on. Pit Not his first song about Pittsburgh when he left Pit Not the Palace. That shit was hard, bro. You ever heard it? Oh my! That was his first song he dropped before Put That Shit On caught on. It's called Pit Not the Palace, and that's from when he first left Pittsburgh.
I also think, too, and this is where the Ja thing comes in, and then there was the running back that left Pittsburgh that everybody called stupid.
Le'Veon?
Yeah, Le'Veon. Now, I kind of do think Le'Veon, because he was going to get paid more money than he had his entire career if he would have just signed the damn but whatever. If you've never had a lot, you can't fathom what it's like to have real FU money. So, like, people can say that you're projecting, man, if I was good enough to get $200 million, I'd do everything right. But you're not.
Nah.
They are good enough to make $200 million, and they want to be normal. Like, all a person wants to do at the end of the day is you want to be normal, but you still want to be able to do what you're great at. So I think really when it comes to AB, like, he couldn't get what he wanted.
Yeah.
Like, look at them. Why do athletes want to be rappers? Most rappers don't make no money, and most of them aren't any good.
Yeah, it's for the look, for the love they get.
Rappers want to go hoop, and that's why they have the little, like, flag football leagues and the celebrity basketball tournaments. And you know what? They're not any good at that.
Yeah, I really want to get into the celebrity all-star game. That's one of my goals, one of my dreams. I want to be in a celebrity all-star game.
I just want to be like Spice Adams. I'm gonna just mess it up. I'm gonna I'm gonna wear the wildest shit that I could wear. I'm gonna put baby powder on my knees and make it look like I'm ashy.
You on the fucking news now, man. You on your way to be in that. I think it graduates from, okay, yeah, you were here doing work now, but people love you now. It's like your character, your name, just the energy is gonna come out. I can see you being in some comedy commercials, man. It's just unintentionally being you.
That's why I talked to one of my friends. Like, that's when you got a chance to chop it up with him. When I made Benji laugh, I was like, "Yo, I would never be. I can't do what you do." But he was. But that's kind of like the vibe. I think people take stuff way too seriously, and I think people need to be able to, like, just relax. But right now, if I can't, one thing I've learned is that, and this is what's made me successful. If I can't do it my way, I'm not gonna fucking do it. I literally wake up and be like, you know what? I don't feel like doing this, so I'm not going to do it. I've turned down opportunities. Sometimes I come back and I regret them, but for the most part, I don't, because if I would have done it, I would have given you something that wasn't genuine.
Okay.
And I think that's what that people gravitate toward it, because they feel, whether it be in their world or how they're doing, that they cannot be genuine, and I think that's a shame. Wow.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, James Coleman, all right, Big Games BS, all right, Sports Den Media Group. He's been on 1010XL, Tallahassee legend, all right? And I'm not talking about T-Pain, all right? I got to give, that's my favorite. I came up with that when I first said it on the show.
Fahim, I love you, dog. You're big time.
Yeah.
if this ever goes viral, just know it. It ain't me, Fahim. It's him.
I appreciate you, first of all, for everything that you've done for me, man. Like, even like out in the community of Jacks, man, letting me come out to the drive that you were doing, meet y'all, see what you got going on. Let me hang around on Sports Den and kind of learn the ropes of how y'all, like, I don't do sports radio per se, but I think I definitely learned a little bit of my sauce from sitting in the corner watching y'all show.
One of the greatest stories
like
ever.
You and Denny.
Like, Benji even told us a great story. You meeting your dad was, I feel like that was
my God,
that was a great opportunity. That was the dopest thing in the world.
Unintentionally, because I didn't even know he was there. I didn't even know that the man was in the crowd. I didn't know what he looked like. Didn't know nothing. I can't even believe I forgot to talk about the comedy show that you even put on, bro. Like, James is out here for real, man. You put on like me, Tez on the show. You had Reva K. And a bunch of other people, man.
She's coming back doing comedy at the lounge too. I think one of the biggest things, and again, I've learned this from Benji, I've learned this from other people that I've got that are really famous, even if I didn't know they were that famous, is that you give people opportunities. You don't give everybody opportunities. You give people that you know are working. And if you see that, like if I can see that this is something that you're passionate about and I have an opportunity to change that, that's being selfish on my part for not trying to help out. So anything I could do with people, as long as you don't suck, because then I always tell them, like, if you suck, then or that's what like I told the DJ the other day. I was like, what's the worst that can happen? The worst thing is you rock it out, we'll bring you back. If you suck, we won't ever bring you back again. You'll never hear from us. So, like, you got a 50-50 chance if you believe in yourself. But, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, James Coleman, where can they find you on social media?
At BigGameJames_36 is my Twitter and my IG. But really what we're trying to do is get everybody to continue to join the YouTube channel. At Den Media Group is the YouTube channel. We just did a $200 giveaway when we got over 2,000 followers. When we get over 3,000 followers, somebody's going to get $300 live on the show. And then we'll give them however many likes we have, we'll give a second person that. So if we get 4,000, 400, 5,000, all the way up to now, when we get to 100,000, we're not finna give one person 10,000. We're gonna break that up into 10 people.
Figure it out.
But what I'm saying is, we give the
that's smart. That's a smart climb.
We're giving the money as we climb and as we have success. So,
and before we get out of here, man, you've been here, you've seen the shows here at the Comedy Zone. Obviously, we got to talk about it because we're here. I think when I met you, was that before I even got into this club when we met? That was before I was doing.
You had got the opportunity.
Yeah.
Which I thought was dope.
Oh, I opened up for Ali Sadiq.
Yeah. When you put me on him. I love his stuff, man.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He just dropped a new special too, man. But you have been here for Benji shows, man, Benji Brown. And real quick, man, what's your experience been like coming to the Comedy Zone here? I don't know how many times that you've come out there before.
Now, when I'm here with Benji, they treat me really, really good. I'm in like the little VIP suite eating chicken and shit. So like that's dope. Like your chicken wings ain't bad. They're pretty good. But I've come here to see I've seen Bruce, I've seen Earthquake, I've seen what's the black lady? I've seen over the years I've seen a lot of stuff, and it's actually really, really good, really, really chill. They working. I never realized though when that last call mean last call though. For real about that. But it's cool that and then I've seen the slate. There's been people that I've missed that I would really like to see. But just the fact that you could get some of the best comedians in the nation to come here in Jacksonville and perform and have a reasonable price for it, I think is dope. And you're getting I don't want to say it's their best material, because obviously when they do they do specials, that's a lot of practice and scripting.
Yeah, that's like them. Like they're working out. People usually come here with like a fire 45 that they're working on, and then they'll be building up that last 15, trying stuff out.
Which I think is cool, because you'll come in and you'll hear stuff that you haven't heard from them before, and like I think that's kind of the cool, because you get to see the art of comedy.
Building it up. Listen, man, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. We are here. Big Game James in the building, came through on the Writer's Block podcast, all right. Taught me a lot of stuff I know about this sauce thing that we call radio and podcasting and all that things. We appreciate y'all for clicking this episode. Make sure you go subscribe to James' YouTube channel and follow him on social media, man, for the most reckless, chaotic, craziest take that you'll ever see on the internet, getting people all kinds of pissed off, all right. Big Game James, Bobby Brown Jr., we is gone.